said he wanted God to be the Lord of his life. And, you know, as the Bible said, if we confess with our mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in our heart, we shall be saved. And he did that. And I believe he was saved.
Yes.
On his own confession. He had a big heart. There was nobody that Jason wouldn't help.
He's a good boy.
Never a problem at him.
They think the world owes them something. As long as these children walk around here thinking the world owes them something, it's going to get worse and worse. And then you and I are going to have to peep outside the door before we walk. If we don't take a stand on this violence with what we have to work with now, this violence it's not going to do anything but keep on erupting and erupting until it's going to be a family member of yours.
Some of the juveniles that are in custody for doing crimes, such as what we're talking about, homicide and very violent crimes, when they're tested, they test below, in their vocabulary, 95% of everyone else of their age group. They don't have any vocabulary skills at all. Somebody is failing. Pastor, who's to blame?
My explanation of that,
Who's at fault?
I would say it starts at the home.
Yeah.
The home, you can't put the blame on the police. You can't put it on the school system. You can put it in two places, the home and the church. The home first, because the home is where you learn personal values and principles. If the parent at home does not steer the child toward a church environment that is conducive to their total development, I'm not talking about going to church just shouting and dancing. I'm talking about obtaining moral values, and it starts at the home. Let's look at most of your families now. What do you say? A certain percentage are single-parented homes. The mother raises a child that she has to work, and she has to take care of her child. So she doesn't have time to really parent that child. She had a child, but she doesn't have time to parent the child because she's not thinking about parenting. She's had the child, now where do I go from here? Principles, conduct, everything has to be conducive to what your future is going to be.
We've come to a point where we don't respect life. We don't respect each other. And to kill a child, regardless of how old he is, because Jason wasn't a baby, he was 29, but he was my baby. And his death didn't affect just me, but it affected my mother. Jason was her only grandson. My brother, Jason, was his only nephew. You know, so the violence that's occurring doesn't just hurt or harm the person that is directed to, but it affects families and communities as well. And we've got to get to a point where we do something about it. It's not just another black man got shot. He got shot. Now what are we going to do? How are we going to turn that pain into purpose? That's what we need to do. It's got to be something where we look at it and yes, we hurt, we get angry, we're upset, but then how do we turn it into purpose? How does that death live on by helping someone else, educating our kids?
Yes. Where Derrion used to be, there's a void there.
Yes, it is.
And there's a type of suffering that comes along when you lose someone. And it can only be understood by someone else that's lost someone.
I have to turn my pain into power. Because without the grace of the Lord and the grace of God in me, without the support of my family and my church, I might be out there right now trying to find a 9mm 357, or might be able to commit a crime, to get locked up, to get next to them young men that murdered my grandson. And let's just talk about this, because I ain't no choir boy. I'm not a choir boy. I came off the streets of Chicago. So I'm not no choir boy. It's just by the grace of God that he's given me turning my pain into power to save another one of his youth. One of his youth. So that's the way I'm able to sleep at night. That's the way I'm able to deal with the loneliness I feel when I look at my window and don't see my grandson.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, that boy's something else. Yep. For me to miss him, it's missing him. Like, this is, it's just like, every day I used to sit at home and wait for him. I was with my friend one time, and I was riding with him, and I told him, I said, man, I need time. I got to get home. It's like about 2:30. I said, I need to get home. He said, what for? I said, man, Derrion will be there. And he looked at me and he said, Joe, Derrion is 16 years old. Why are you rushing home? I said, because when you put that key in that door, I'm going to be on the other side of it as many days as possible. I'm going to be on the side of that door when he put his key in there. If the Lord bless me, Joe. That's my baby. If he can sacrifice him going outside instead of coming straight home from school, you think I can't sacrifice being there when he get there? We were a team. We had to do this together. Him and I had to do this together. I've lived my life. I want for him to live his to his best potential. And how did you do that? By following orders, by getting respect, gaining respect from them, by teaching them responsibility of coming straight home from school, which he was on his way to the community center when he got murdered. You teach them all these things, and then he's gone.
That fateful day, what
happened? Let me start with the evening before. Jason was at our house at a barbecue. The night, it was 11 o'clock, that night when he got ready to leave, he said, love you, Mom, getting ready to go. I'll call you later. The next morning, my doorbell rang, and 2 detectives were at my house to tell me that my son had been shot and killed at 1 o'clock that next morning. So from Saturday evening to Sunday morning, Father's Day, my son was dead. One thing that sort of helped me with it was the fact that the detective said that there was a lady who was in a wheelchair who heard the shooting and came out. And when the detectives got there, she said, if you ever talk to his mother, let his mother know that he died fast. And I watched over him, that I put a blanket over him to make sure that he wasn't on the ground cold.
People ask me, say, why do you feel that Derrion's murder grabbed so much attention? And what about the other students? The only response that I can give to them is that when the Lord gives you someone that he has to sacrifice to make a statement that the world would see, it has to be somebody that has walked that life with dignity, honor, and respect. Someone that can't nobody come up to and say, well, I seen him fighting over here, or I seen him smoking a joint, or I seen him over here drinking alcohol. Not one blemish on this young man's 16 years of life. So yes, he can stand up as a martyr and a model among his peers, among his family.